We wouldn't do it, that's for sure. Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 daredevils in history. For this list, we're looking at the bravest, most accomplished, and most famous daredevils the world has ever seen. The term daredevil is rather loose, but for the purposes of this list, we'll be including anyone who has willfully performed an extreme or highly dangerous stunt for publicity. Movie stuntmen will not be included, so Jackie Chan will not be appearing on this list despite his numerous dangerous stunts. If you like what you're hearing, be sure to check out the full song at the link below. Number 10. Donald Campbell.
A son takes up his father's mantle. Donald, son of Sir Malcolm Campbell, is going to defend the water speed record for Britain.
Donald Campbell is one of the all-time great record breakers. Throughout the 1950s and 60s, Campbell broke 8 speed records, and in 1964, he broke both the land and water records. This accomplishment makes Campbell the only person in history to break both in the same year. In July 1964, Campbell set a new land speed record by traveling 403.1 miles per hour. And later that year set the water record by traveling 276.3 miles per hour.
It was Campbell's greatest triumph.
However, Campbell's ambition got the better of him. On January 4th, 1967, Campbell crashed while attempting to set another water speed record. His body wasn't recovered until 2001.
Bill brought him up and we were finally able to lay my father to rest in the proper grave.
Number 9. Reinhold Messner.
I know that it's possible to climb Everest with oxygen, but nobody knows if it's possible to climb Everest without oxygen.
This Italian mountaineer has traveled the world and accomplished numerous incredible feats, making him arguably the greatest explorer and adventurer in modern history. In 1986, he became the first person in history to climb all the world's 8,000ers, the 14 mountains over 8,000 meters tall, and he did them all without supplemental oxygen. In 1978, he and Peter Hobler became the first people to climb Everest without supplemental oxygen, a feat previously thought impossible.
All I remember, I started crying. I cried like a little child, you know. And I wasn't even aware, and I don't think he was aware that we were sitting on top of Everest.
He also crossed Antarctica only using skis, and in 2004, he trekked over 1,000 miles through the Gobi Desert. We're tired just talking about him.
It's much more important to have nothing and to create something. But if we create something real, on the end, the next generations can do nothing because everything is done.
Number 8. Charles Blondin. You just have to tip your hat to a man like Charles Blondin. An extremely popular tightrope walker, Blondin's name has been synonymous with the practice. In 1859, he crossed 160 feet above the Niagara Gorge on a 1,100-foot-long tightrope. He would later revisit this stunt and make it more theatrical. Some examples include trundling a wheelbarrow, carrying his manager on his back, and cooking an omelet while crossing. He then traveled to Britain and Ireland and became a popular attraction due to his high-wire stunts, which included doing somersaults on stilts 70 feet above the ground. Number 7. Annie Edson Taylor.
2 assistants helped harness Annie into an old wooden pickle barrel, along with a few other good luck charms.
Annie Edson Taylor wasn't an athlete or daredevil by day, but a regular music and dance teacher. However, work was hard to come by, so like any struggling individual, she decided to go over Niagara Falls in a barrel for posterity. Taylor went over the falls on October 24, 1901. She survived the stunt and became the first person to successfully go over the falls in a barrel. Unfortunately, she didn't earn much money from the stunt, and the money she did earn went towards private investigators hired to find her manager, who ran off with the famous barrel. Number 6. Jeb Corliss.
I understand that, my dreams are most other people's nightmares.
Jeb Corliss is a world-famous skydiver and base jumper who has conquered many of the world's most incredible locations. In 1999, when Corliss was 23, he almost died base jumping in South Africa when his parachute malfunctioned and he flew into a waterfall. Since that time, he's been involved in numerous incredible feats, including gliding down the Matterhorn, flying through the famous Tiananmen Cave, and flying through an extremely narrow crack in China's Mount Shanglong.
My mistake, and my biggest mistake for sure, was I'd lost fear.
His videos are incredible, and they make you wonder why anyone would ever do something like that in the first place. And that is the sign of a great daredevil.
Well, I came extremely close on that one.
Number 5, Joseph Kittinger. Joseph Kittinger was an Air Force colonel who was part of Project Manhigh, a suitably titled military project that sent men to the stratosphere in balloons. In 1957, Kittinger set a balloon altitude record by reaching 96,760 feet.
The two objectives of Project Excelsior was first, how to protect a man in a space environment, and second of all, how to provide the means of escape from very high altitude.
Kittinger then went on to lead Project Excelsior, a series of parachute jumps from the stratosphere meant to research the effects of high-altitude bailouts. On August 16, 1960, he set the record for highest parachute jump at 102,800 feet and falling for over 4 minutes at speeds of 614 miles per hour.
It was a very interesting experience for me to sit there and look at the horizon, and I could see over 400 miles.
In 2012, Kittinger served as capsule communicator for Felix Baumgartner when Baumgartner broke his 52-year record.
Jump away.
Number 4, Philippe Petit.
Usually when you have a dream, the object of your dream is tangible, it's there, it's quixotic, but it's there, nagging you, you know, confronting you. But the object of my dream doesn't exist yet.
One of the world's most famous high-wire performers, Philippe Petit is perhaps best known for his famous walk between the Twin Towers of New York's World Trade Center. On the morning of August 7, 1974, Petit walked between the towers on a cable a quarter mile above the ground. He performed 8 passes in total, conducting various stunts much to the annoyance of the police.
And upon seeing us, he started to smile and laugh.
However, the event earned him acclaim from both the media and the general population, while the charges against him were dropped in exchange for performing a free show for children in Central Park.
Why did you do this?
That's the thousand why in this morning. There is no why.
Number 3, Alain Robert.
I wouldn't say it's not scary, but this is the way I've been living for the last 44 years.
Better known as the French Spider-Man and the Human Spider, Robert is well known throughout the world for free climbing numerous skyscrapers without any helpful equipment aside from chalk and climbing shoes. Robert has climbed many of the world's most notable and tallest structures, including the Willis Tower in Chicago, the Petronas Tower in Malaysia, Taipei 101 in China, and even the 2,700-foot-tall Burj Khalifa in Dubai. Robert has been arrested on numerous occasions for his stunts, although he has recently obtained sponsorships from many notable companies. Number 2, Harry Houdini.
One way or another, we all want to escape.
Houdini was well known as an illusionist, but he was also popular throughout the world as an escape artist. In 1908, Houdini introduced his popular milk can escape that saw him escaping from handcuffs while inside a sealed milk can full of water. While imitators cloned the act, Houdini introduced the Chinese water torture cell and his famous suspended straitjacket escape, which saw him trying to escape from a straitjacket while suspended high in the air. In 1915, Houdini almost died after being buried alive 6 feet without a casket. He was a master performer, and his stunts are still incredible over a century later. You could not pay me any amount of money to do literally anything on this list. But there's one name in history that is synonymous with crazy stunts, and I bet you will find that Daredevil is number 1. So let's check out the honorable mentions before we see who it is.
Alright, now, the whole world is watching you. I'm going over.
That was pretty damn nice, I have to say.
That was a little better. A little bit better.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1, Evil Knievel.
He's gonna put on a show no matter what the consequences.
When Evil's looking at his ramp, getting ready to go, rolling up his motorcycle, knowing that he has to do it, got 80,000 people out there watching him, you know the guy can't even hardly breathe.
A renowned stunt performer and motorcycle jumper who attempted more than 75 massive motorcycle jumps between 1965 and 1980, Evel Knievel was undoubtedly the world's greatest daredevil. Perhaps his most famous stunt is when he attempted to make the 140-foot jump over the fountains at Caesar's Palace, Las Vegas. Other notable stunts include jumping 14 Greyhound buses at Kings Island and traversing 3/4 of a mile across Idaho's Snake River Canyon in a steam-powered rocket. Meanwhile, his son Robbie would later succeed in the Caesar's Palace stunt and also jumping 228 feet over a portion of the Grand Canyon.
That you are the last people in the world who will ever see me jump, because I will never, ever, ever jump again.
Do you agree with our picks? Let us know in the comments. And hey, if you're a fan of the song playing right now, be sure to check out the music video for it right here.